Hey guys, welcome to Bar Z. My name's Stan. Here today, we're on a bit of a field trip. We're here with Andrew Padaka with the Tool Miser. If you're not a subscriber, shame on you. Go over there and give him a sub. We're here with Chris at American Rotary. And, you know, there's a lot of people that don't do house calls anymore, but we do house calls. So we're over here at Andrew's new shop, and we're looking over his phase converter needs. We've created a list of drill presses and lathes and mills and all these other things, and we've come up with a total horsepower of 55 whopping horsepower that this guy wants to run in this shop. Not necessarily all the time. He's a one-man show, but we've made some recommendations. This is a home shop. He is going to need to upgrade the service on his house. We've done a single line diagram here from the house all the way out to the shop, including the single phase, the rotary phase converter, and the three-phase distribution panel. And I'll run down that selection with you real quick. 400 amp main service on the house, 200 amp branch circuit coming out to the shop, 200 amp single phase panel at the shop, 150 amp feeding a 40 horsepower rotary phase converter. Out of the RPC, we're going to go to a 225 amp rated three-phase panel for distribution. This has 54 breaker slots in it, and the amount of machines we've got to run here, we've still got some headroom. So we've done all his preliminaries for him. He knows what to ask for. You know, just for the heck of it, we're going to run around the shop and show you all the machines he intends to run now. But knowing this guy, you never know what's going to come and go in this shop. So he needs the flexibility to be able to pull a machine, plug another one in. Machines are going to come and go, and he just wants the versatility to be able to hook it up and run it any way he wants. Anything you want to add?
No, I guess maybe just kind of go over how we got to the calculations here. Maybe just give a little kind of highlight on how we did that. So
we worked backwards. We went around to every individual load and we collected all the horsepowers and turned that into amperage and gave us a total amount. Now, in an industrial environment, you're going to want 125% of that. Essentially, everything in the shop's got to be able to run all at once. But like I said, one-man show. You know, at the most, you might have a friend over helping him, and he might have a couple of machines running. So the duty cycle just isn't there. You know, we don't have to go up to that 125%. This is the exception to the rule, not being in an industrial environment.
well, and for those of you that are watching this video and are sitting there and they're doing the calculation of 55 horsepower, and you're already got your fingers on the keyboard ready to chew out, to bite our head off and be like, well, you need this amount. We did calculate that all out, and it did come out to be 154 amps if he was running everything at once.
Yep.
On three-phase, which would require, what did we come up with, about 290 amps.
We were
of
way
single
over.
phase.
Yeah, that's if everything's running all at once. And
So
that will
just
never
so you guys
happen.
know, that's not what we're saying here. So what we did is we looked at, okay, well, what kind of power can we get here? What do we need for lights? And we worked backwards from there and said, with putting in the lights and giving them a little bit of leeway, what would we have left? We'd have about 150 amps left. So what's the biggest RPC that we could put in here that would be able to at least run, multiple pieces of equipment,
Right.
like a CNC, a 15 horse spindle, and a 10 horsepower lathe, and maybe him be able to go over and tinker on one of his other pieces of equipment that we'll show you. So that's where we came up with the 150 amps,
Right.
which would be right in the middle between 120 and 180, which is what the minimum and the maximum is for the 40 horsepower
Okay.
converter.
So I think that's a good choice. And Andrew likes it. And
A man of so many words.
you know, I know what it is I'm pretty liberal with other people's money. So nothing but the best for you, buddy.
We're putting drops in here. We've got all kinds of stuff planned out for him.
Yeah.
Karaoke corner is
The karaoke machine.
But we're going to grab the GoPro. We're going to go handheld and run around and look at some of these machines and talk about them a little bit. And maybe that'll help you understand our reasoning and how we arrived at these numbers and how we worked backwards to come up with these amperage readings. I'll go down the list really quick. Drill press, 5 horse. Hardinge, lathe, 2 horse. Cadillac lathe, 7.5 horse. Clausing lathe, 2 horse. Max Mill, 2 horse. K&T horizontal, 5 horse. Cobell surface grinder, 1.5. Tool grinder, half horse. Baldor bench or pedestal grinder, 2 horse. We left headroom for a CNC 10 horse vertical milling center and a CNC lathe 15 horse spindle. That's a monster. And then he doesn't have an air compressor yet, but we did leave an allowance for a 10 horsepower air compressor, and that gave us a total of 55 horsepower. All right, let's go handheld and have a look around and let Andrew do a little bit of talking for once.
Great.
All right. Okay, here's one of the pieces we were standing in front of. This is a pretty cool Starrett machinery base, and I just love the logo and the some of the facets that were cut into this thing. But he's going to use that as a surface plate, and I think it makes one heck of a surface plate. And it came with a stand too, didn't it?
Yep.
So it's got a
Stand.
3-point mount, nice leveling stand on it, so you can get that thing dead level fairly easily.
Threaded inserts.
Yeah, you got stainless threaded inserts, and they're all below the surface. Nice.
Yeah.
This thing is no joke.
Now we gotta see if it's any good. See how
Well,
flat enough for
Sandra will come out and fix that for you.
yeah, we'll have them take a look at it.
Yep.
That's one of 4 plates that I have to have them look at for me.
Nice. 1 of 4.
Yeah.
You got 3 other plates.
Yeah. I got a
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. You kind of do.
It's evident.
This was a pallet lot that he picked up of storage. So there's useful things in there that he will get to, but you cannot have too much storage.
No, you cannot. And you never know when you're gonna need studs.
Oh, good lord! Look at that. That's just a sampling. I'm sure there's plenty.
Oh, yeah.
There's plenty of that.
There's a lot.
Probably do a weekly video series on it. Probably a month-long video series. Unveiling. It's like Al Capone's vault.
Yeah, something. You don't know what's going to come crawling out of
I don't know
there.
what's in there. Yeah.
There's a K&T number 2. I believe this is the same as Fenner's.
2C8.
Now you are looking for a part for this.
Yeah, I need the drive gear for the vertical attachment. I do have the attachment.
Well, let me get over here first.
Sure.
Okay.
So I got the attachment and the yeah, it's a 50 taper
Okay.
drive gear for the vertical attachment.
Okay.
So I'm in the market for one of those. So I would love if someone had one of those laying around that they couldn't wait to send me.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, if you do need that, what's that email address?
It's thetoolmiser@gmail.com.
Thetoolmiser@gmail.com. If you've got a 50 taper drive gear for a K&T, shoot an email over there. He is
I'm hot for it. Yeah.
he's hot to get that.
Yeah.
That'll be nice when you do.
Yeah. Can't wait.
Okay, so that was our 5 horsepower load that we need to run.
Yeah.
You've got a Max Mill here.
Yeah. Just a little Bridgeport clone.
Yeah, little 2 horse. Nothing wrong with that.
Glorified drill press, but it does the trick for now. Pretty standard stuff.
It is.
It's a little lighter than a Bridgeport, but it's mine.
That's the truth. Got a little hardened.
And this is a little Hardinge DSM 59.
If one of you guys have bought a Rook, it was made on this machine.
That it was.
Yep. All right, let's move on to the closing.
Closing 4900 series 10-inch. Good little lathe. Actually, Caniglia has one of these. Ray's got one of these.
I do believe it's the same.
I think he's got a longer bed though.
No, it looks to be the same size.
Oh,
but
really?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe so.
Yeah.
It's a little taller because it's got stilts on it.
Yeah, it's up at a comfortable height for you there.
But it's a cool little machine. It does what I've needed from
Yep.
it.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, there's the Rook. Product. We do some product placement there.
Exactly.
Now he just acquired this Cadillac, and I actually used to own one of these. This was a great machine. Solid. It ran so good, so smooth. You've had this running already, right?
Yeah, I've powered it up and opened up the gearbox. Everything's good. It does need some help electrically,
Yep.
but other than that, I've just kind of cleaned things up and.
Well, oddly enough, I know a guy. I might be able to help you out with that.
Okay, that that might work out.
Yep.
So yeah, this is.
So what you're saying is you're gonna have him call Keith Rucker?
Yeah. I'll have him call Keith Rucker, and he can come out here to the West Coast and fix all this for you. I know a guy. Oh, this is one that had the collet closer. It's got the index pins in it.
Yeah, and I got that with.
That's a Kennedy setup there.
And I didn't know that these you could just with the change gear you can cut metric with these things. I didn't know that.
Yes, you can. Yep.
It's got the metric plate and just.
Yep.
If you remember how to do that, you might have to show me.
It's been about 8 years.
Cool.
Okay.
That's the.
So you're in process on that one.
That's it. Yeah.
That air compressor's got to go.
No, that's yeah.
Okay.
That's my
You got your old standby.
That's my wife's.
That's my wife's. Did you just say that?
That's the wife's.
Nice. This is a VFD machine, so it doesn't even really count. You give that single phase and it's off to the races.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. Pretty standard stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Little quill readout on it.
And good Lord, look at this thing.
This is I do watchmaking as well.
Yeah, this is for the really fine work. I really need to get some light on this. Chris is actually bringing over the rocket. We're going to light up this antique, and oh, good Lord, look at that. That is some vintage. I'm just going to pan you down really slow. Look at those contactors. I'm not working on this. You're on your own, buddy. If you want anything done in here, we're going to start by gutting it and starting over.
VFD or what?
Yeah, we'll VFD this thing. Look at God, and genuine blueprints, genuine blue lines. Look at that.
That's it. Look at that date right there.
1942.
That's it.
Wow. Look at that.
They're out of Ohio?
You know, so
I think so.
you know, you need to send this to Dale Derry. He'd probably make a desk lamp out of it or something. You know that. This thing is just too vintage and too steampunk. Look at the disconnect handle out here.
Yeah.
Oh wow, look at that. Even lockout, tag out back in the 40s. Look at that. You can
That's
put
true. That's
three,
kind of-
three locks on that thing. Wow.
No guard on the belts though.
No belt guards. There's no such thing as OSHA, but we did have lockout, tag out. That's something else though, that cabinet.
Lose an arm, but you know,
my
as long as you
God.
don't get electrocuted.
That's it. Yeah.
The old push buttons. But this thing is a tank.
And I've run it. I've actually used it. It doesn't function with these buttons, but yeah, we won't talk about how I got it to work.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't even think I want to know.
But it's a cool machine.
Yeah, there's that
It's
thing's
got a cool factor to it.
that thing is no joke. It's
That'd be
yeah. This out of all of them,
This
this should be
awesome
restored.
restoration.
I mean, and make it perfect.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Just visually.
Yeah.
Because it's complete.
Yeah.
So that's the Baker 150.
That's a Baker 150. I wonder what the 150 stands for.
That I don't know. Oh, for the tension.
That's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
Got a
You see
little
that?
oiler up there.
Yeah, the
Tensioner.
oil up there is oil the spline drive probably for the coil.
Look at the tensioner for the belt drive.
I see it. That's great. Oh, what is this?
I think that's the dealer that sold the machine originally.
Okay. Bring a light over here. I want to see what it says. Los Angeles. It says more. Yeah, more machinery. Los Angeles, California, San Francisco. I'll be darned. That thing is something else. That's a pretty beautiful piece you got there, Andrew. All right, let's move on.
This corner is going to be for more welding and fab work.
Okay.
So this is where all the welders are hiding for now, but it'll have a big ugly welding bench and all the
You need a big
usual
ugly.
suspects.
Yeah, you got plenty of room in here for
Grinders and
nice
whatnot.
nice big welding bench.
I'll probably keep all the grinders on this side as far away from the machines as possible.
That's a good practice.
And storage, trying to wrangle any bit of storage I can, racks and
Yeah, let's see that
Belts
vise for the
and
KNT.
the little guy.
Yeah, the little guy. That thing is no joke there. Yeah, you pop an onion picking that up. And he's got a couple of arbor presses.
Yeah,
He's got the Baldor cutter grinder.
that's it.
Yep.
Cincinnati
Yeah, you got a dividing head there.
dividing head. Yeah.
Yep.
This is I got this at the flea market. It's a press out of it's a lab press for extracting fluids out of something. I don't know. It's about
Huh.
as much info I had out of it, but it look,
Perfect.
Chris might buy it off.
But that's a good pallet worth of stuff there. And there's a
Okay.
toolbox that hadn't even been unwrapped yet.
Yeah, miscellaneous.
Harbor Freight Press. There's
Upgraded.
oh here's something we want you guys to look at. This is an unknown tool and cutter grinder. We're trying to figure out the brand on it. Harville 53 is what we're showing here, and that's probably just a owner's tag or a manufacturer's, whoever owned the machine. These three manual motor starters might give you a clue. Those are Cutler hammers, manual motor starters. And let you have a look around it. If you know the brand of this, let me know. Leave a comment down below and help us figure out what brand this is. I'll pan you over that once you take a look at that.
Got your lighting guy here today.
I know, I got a lighting guy.
What's that gonna cost me?
I don't know. No, but looking,
Style.
and this machine runs? You run it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and it's got the coolant. There's a coolant motor in the base.
Yeah, I saw the three starters. So you got a spindle motor, and you've probably got the secondary motor here for this, and then the third one is for the coolant.
Coolant. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why you've got the three drive motors. You are missing the drive motor for this for the tool holder.
Yeah, that could be. That could be up for someone.
Show them the taper on that.
Oh,
Look at the size of the taper on this little tool and cutter grinder. I hope this is rigid enough. I'm not sure, but look at that, 50 taper. Overkill much?
watchmaker.
That watchmaker, that's right. And then now we've got a Covell. This is an interesting surface grinder. The spindle and the tower are all as one. And let's see if I can open the belt guard. There it goes.
It's got some gravity to it.
Yeah, the belt guard is a nice solid chunk of cast. And it's got a long belt drive. It's multiple speed, which is interesting. He's got a variable pitch pulley or a variable speed pulley. Yeah, step pulleys below and above, so you can change the surface grinder speed depending on what size wheel he's got on it. The belt drive is going to help eliminate vibration as long as you run the correct belts. And whoa, that thing has got some weight to it. And you just move the table up and down on this thing. So kind of an interesting unit.
Stationary head.
And good luck finding arbors for that.
Yeah.
That
Exactly.
thing, that thing's a wonker. Oh, is it loose? Okay. Has it got a 2-inch bore?
I believe it's 3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 10 by 3.
Look at that thing. Okay.
So yeah.
Good luck
It's
finding
gonna-
wheels for it. That
Yeah,
wheel, that
exactly.
wheel's ready for the trash.
Yeah.
Do you have any arbors for it?
No, just what's on it.
Just the one. Okay. So well, at least you know what, you're surface grinding.
Yeah.
You're
I
start.
also got a KOE in the other garage. But,
Oh, we didn't add that to the list.
oh, we did?
You're holding out on us.
Shit.
Okay. He's got an old do-all.
Keyword old.
Old is about the right word for this old guy.
But
No,
this
it's got a speed vise on it.
It does. And they made these things to last back then.
Yeah, I'm looking at that pan. It looks like it's at least minimum 10 gauge. I can't get that open. I think there's a bolt. Oh, there it goes.
That bad boy.
Now, what's the cog belt for? You got the dry belt
I think just for the gear reduction.
for that's just
This
gear
drive.
reduction going to the band.
Yeah.
I'll be darned. Well, that's something.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So that'll get spiffed up as well.
Yeah. Okay. And then another little woodchuck bandsaw.
Yeah, little 14-inch Delta.
Yep. I think with the right modifications, you might be able to cut some aluminum and plastic and stuff with that.
Yeah.
Be okay with it?
Good.
All right.
That's it.
All right, Andrew. Thanks for showing us around.
Oh yeah.
Okay, guys, that's the end of the shop tour. Andrew, I'd like to thank you for showing us around. For you guys that don't know about him, it's called the Tool Miser. Look him up on YouTube. He's going to promise to start making YouTube videos. We need to follow this shop's progress. This is going to be a model of how you should build your shop. You know, from airlines to electric lines. I'm going to help him out with the electrical in the building when the time comes. And you know, you can get some good tips on how to set up your shop and make it efficient, fun to use. My big thing is when I walk up to a machine, I want to turn it on and use it. I don't want to have to unplug something, hook up an air hose, and do 6 other things just so I can run the machine. I want to walk up, I want to use it, I want to walk away and move on. I'd like to thank Chris at American Rotary for coming out and making this house call, you know, and seeing what this shop needs. And you know, you got anything to say in closing?
Not really. Just thanks for having me out, Stan. Thanks for the hospitality this week. It's been great. And just remember, you know, there's a lot of imitations out there. So if it doesn't carry the American Rotary logo, it's not the real thing.
There you go. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Have a good one.